Hey everybody, it's Mitch and welcome to my next video. Today is Friday, which means it's time to be talking about another Dungeons & Dragons subscription video, and today's video is all about the Runesmith. Now, the Ruinsmith is, well, it's a very interesting character. I actually really like him. I've been looking at him a bit. The biggest downside is you got to be a dwarf. But the thing that's really cool about him is that he's actually an arcane spellcaster that can cast without arcane spell failure in heavy armor. So really awesome right there. That's just a huge advantage for them. Now, to get in, let's talk about that real quick. First, like I said, you got to be a dwarf. So, if you're any other race, it's just not going to work. And dwarves aren't really the best arcane casters, so that's a bit of a limitation right there. But you still get to be able to be an arcane caster in heavy armor. There's other classes that can do this. I'm sure I've talked about some already. I will definitely be talking about more. In fact, I know I've talked about one out of the DMG, but I forget the name of that. But anyways, I'll probably put a link in there at some point. So anyways, with the Runesmith. So you also have to have a concentration 5 ranks and craft stoneworking 8 ranks. So you're going to be a craftsman. They'll take at least 5 levels to get in. Let's see, feats. You have to have armor proficiency heavy, as well as scribe scroll, and the ability to cast first level arcane spells. Now, as the book mentioned, the most common ways to do this are typically you're going to want to go with 1 level of fighter and then the rest in like wizard or sorcerer. So like 4 or 5 in wizard or sorcerer, like 4 in wizard or 4 or wizard and sorcerer, or you could just go 5 in wizard or sorcerer. Don't worry about taking a level of fighter, and then just take the armor proficiency heavy feat, which I believe has the prereq of armor proficiency medium and armor proficiency. So it'll take like 3 feats to do that. But the advantage of going that way is you're going to have your spell casting ability match your level, not be a level lower, which is what you'd have to do if you did the fighter. Although with the fighter you can actually have weapons too. So there's some advantages and disadvantages. It really just depends on how you want to do it. So basically, what do these guys get? They get the ability to cast their spells through runes at first level, which how that works is basically when they prepare their spells, they prepare them into runes, and then they can cast them out of the runes without using all the hand gestures and everything. I forget the name for that. Somatic components. That's what it is. There we go. So they can do it without somatic components, so they don't have to do all the hand gestures. The heavy armor's not going to get in the way, so it's not going to be all clunky and nasty. And yeah, so they can actually cast high-level arcane spells in full plate armor or any other heavy armor, which is awesome. And no arcane spell failure for that, so that's really cool. Let's see, what else do we got? So yeah, that's like their big one right there. They also get stonecraft expertise, which basically just gives them a +2 on stonecrafting checks, which is as well as appraise. They can share runes, which is really nice. So say somebody's not a caster, you can give one to them. Now granted, that raises the spell level by 2. So basically, if you wanted to give them like magic missile, you'd have to give up like a 3rd level spell slot, and it doesn't make it any stronger. So it's just sharing runes does have that disadvantage, and there is a limit to how many you can do per day. Also, they get permanent rune eventually, which that one's actually really cool. So how permanent rune works is they basically inscribe a rune on their own body, and when doing that, they give up, like say they could give up a 9th level spell, and they could put an 8th level spell as a rune there. That'd be permanently getting rid of that 9th level spell, and that 8th level rune they could use as a spell-like ability twice per day. So basically, by doing that, you gain it's easier to activate permanent rune than it is a regular rune. Like if you're captured or whatever under dire circumstances, Your runes might not be easily accessible. You know, maybe you're sleep deprived and you're not able to prepare spells for a day or so. You can still access that permanent rune. So that there's certainly advantages that way. There's also the advantage of simply the fact that you're getting 2 lower level spell slots for the price of 1. So that's nice as well. But yeah, that's mostly all there is. You also get 1 level of your casting class per day for this. It's only a 5 level class, so basically, so you take you go in after 5 levels. So you take 4 levels of wizard, 1 level of fighter per se. You can do a sorcerer, however you want to do it. But then effectively you're a 9th level wizard in terms of spellcasting abilities. I mean, you don't get the extra bonus feats and all that, and your familiar doesn't get better and all that other stuff. Your familiar kind of gets better just because of the health, but that's just because of how the HP of a familiar works. But yeah, other than that, it won't increase other than its health. These guys, they're not known much for their health. They get I forgot to look that one up. Their hit dice, I don't imagine it's too impressive. D6, it's not terrible. They only get they have a bad base attack, good fortitude, as well as a good will. Bad reflex though. But anyways, like I was saying about spell casting, so you're basically be a 9th level caster at 10th level because you took that 1 of fighter. If you don't take the fighter, then you'd be 10. That's why some people don't do the level of fighter. But it's going to cost you like 3 feats if you don't. So it really just sort of depends on what you think is the better option for your character. Do you want your casting to be more potent, or do you want to have a little bit more versatility with your feats? Because giving up 3 feats is a pretty big deal. So yeah. And you also probably, well, as a dwarf, you're not going to be able to get that by 6th level. You're only going to have 2 feats, even then, so you're going to have to wait a little while to get into the class. So, I mean, there's a lot to it. Really playing them as a character, very, very, very viable as a character option. They're really just going to be, you know, a dwarf that casts spells in heavy armor, which is awesome. Like that, you don't get that very often. So you're going to have that nice AC buff. If you do the fighter option, you're going to be, you know, wielding some powerful weapons. At least you're going to have them on you, so you look like you're tough and you can blend in. You don't look like a caster, so that's going to be a big advantage. Yeah, there's a lot of advantages to this. So definitely want to give that a look. It's definitely worth checking out. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this video, and well, more specifically, what you have to say about the Runesmith down in the comments below. And if you're not subscribed yet, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, because guess what? We got another one of these videos every Friday. Plus, we got Naruto character reviews on Saturday. We got additional videos Sunday, and we're probably going to have other videos, and probably already do have other videos on other days of the week by the time this is actually posted. So definitely check that out. And if you enjoy this video, definitely think about sharing it with some of your friends. Anyways, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you